All right, we're back cooking with gas with sound now. And we are ready for game number 34 of this Rockies replay. The final game actually will be tomorrow night. This is game number, well, actually, this is game 4. This is the final game of I believe let me double check it. I believe it's the final game. I believe it's the fourth it is the fourth and final game because the Giants have taken 2 of 3. So this is the fourth and final game. After this, the Rockies go back home and they'll start a 6-game homestand, 3 against Detroit and 3 against San Diego. Today's matchup, Logan Webb for the Giants and German Marquez for the Rockies. Yeah, what happened, Ben, is I purchased one of these and it worked. I used it for my Sunday Basic Sunday recording this afternoon. It worked fine. Why it's not working now, I don't know. Must be I tried several different selections on my choices that came up for audio input, and so I don't know. I just don't know. I've got this here. This connects to. I've got an adapter, so this connects right in here, and that connects into my laptop, and this is Bluetooth, and it worked fine. It worked fine this afternoon. Don't know why it's messing up, but I thought this would be better to use this because I thought it would give me better sound because the sound would be right under my mouth, and that way if I turn my head or something and I move away from where the webcam is, you won't lose the sound. And supposedly it's supposed to cut out some of the background noise as well, but it's a work in progress, so I'll have to go with it. So anyway, I tried it, twice, maybe 3 times. So I said after the second or third time, I said, forget it. I'll have to play around with it later and see if I can get that to work maybe tomorrow or something. I don't know. So for right now, just to get this game in and not have any more issues. Hello, Robert. Not any more issues. I went ahead and just did my old-fashioned way. All right, Logan Webb. He is a -4 because he's a -1, and Patrick Bailey's a -3 on the hold, makes him a -4. Oracle Park, singles 11, home runs 4. This game was played Sunday, May the 4th, 2025. So this was the May the 4th be with you game. Logan Webb was 15-11 with a 3.22 ERA in the 25 season. And there's a video that just came out, and I encourage you guys, if you're not already subscribed to this guy, I would subscribe to him. But either way, definitely would encourage a watch on this because I saw it and I just had to laugh. I took a picture of it off my laptop, so it's not that clear. But hopefully you can read what it says. Let's take this off of here. Hopefully you can read what it says. A little less walk and a lot more talk is what he says. I would kind of update it to say a little less walk and a lot more playing or a lot more action. This is Appa Chatter. And he was making an editorial comment about the popularity in these walking videos that I have mentioned a couple different times. So worth a view if you have not subscribed to Appa Chatter. I would at least, I'm not an Appa fan, but I do subscribe to Appa Chatter just to support him. And I do like, some of the things he does on their unboxings and stuff like that. So that one I had to chuckle because finally somebody was on my side. All right. So it didn't feel like I was alone on that. All right. So Colorado, 13-20 on the replay. They were, I believe they were 6-26 or 7-26, something like that. So we're still 6 or 7 games ahead of their current pace. And there's going to be one player who is not carded. Alan Trejo will use the dreaded nameless player card. Everybody for the Giants is carded. All right, with that out of the way, let's get this ball rolling. Brenton Doyle. And that is a 6-7, and that's a ground ball second base X. And we're talking about Christian Koss. He's a 2E13. 2 and 18 is good. E13, he's got to avoid 14, 3 and 18, which he does. So Christian Koss makes the play. 1 down. That'll bring up Jordan Beck, left fielder. Yeah, I can't keep up with everybody on that, Thomas, but it's not surprising. I'll just say it that way. 112, and that is a ballpark blast, which is a 1-4, so it's not that good. And that'll be a fly to left. But it's like a lot of things. It's people see somebody do something, they think it looks neat, and it's like the flavor of the month kind of thing, sort of like Appa Soccer. It's a flavor of the month. Check back with me in September and see who's still playing Appa Soccer. I mean, it wasn't that long ago that Fast Drive Football was the flavor of the month, and then it went something else. So it just changes every month. Hello, D. Smith. Good to see you. And if that's what they like, go for it. It's just not my style. Here's Ryan McMahon. 2-6 for McMahon. Struck him out. 1-2-3 inning for the Giants. So we go to the bottom of the first. Colorado nothing, and the Rockies or the Giants coming to bat. German Marquez. He was 3-16 with a 6.70 ERA in the real season. On the replay, he is 1-4 with a 7.98 ERA. I know it's small print there, so probably very hard to see there, but it's a 1-4 record with a 7.98 ERA. And he's got a +3 hold if you want to add insult to injury. So Marquez is on, and he'll face Mike Yastrzemski. Start things off for the G-men. I don't either, Thomas. I don't get a lot of things I see on YouTube, but I just shake my head and move on. 5-10, and that's going to be a ground ball shortstop X. That is Trejo. He's a 3E17. 3-7 is good. 3-7 will be a G3. So he's got to avoid 15, 16, and 17. And he does that, so Trejo will make the play. So there's one away for Willie Adames. That's a 2-5 for Adames. Struck him out. 2 down. And Jung-Hoo Lee, 5-7. And that's a double 1-10, single 11-20. And that's a 7, so it'll be a double for Jung-Hoo Lee. 2-out double. And that'll bring up Matt Chapman with the clutch situation. Chapman in the clutch loses a couple of hits, 2-2 and 2-3. That is a 6-3, and that's ground ball pitcher X. He's a 4E0, so he can't make an error. We'll make sure there's no rare play. There's not. So he can't make an error, but he is a 4. And so to get to this as a 4 pitcher with a range of 4, he's going to have to get a 5 or higher. Anything 1-4, it's going to be a hit. And that's 16, so he will get to it, and that will end the inning. So Marquez gets out of it, pitches around that double. We go to the second inning, no score. From Oracle Park, Logan Webb back out. He will face Hunter Goodman. Goodman, the DH in this one. And that is a 3-3. And that's a ballpark single, so 1-11 at Oracle Park. And that's going to fail, so it'll be a line out to short, 1 away. Goodman out. Here's Tolia. Hello, Dr. D. 2-11. Another ballpark single. Again, a 1-11. This time it works. Tolia gets the base hit. 1-out single for Kyle Farmer, the second baseman. Whoop, that one dive flew over the edge, so we'll do that again. 5-9, and that's a strikeout for Webb, his second. 2 down for Mickey Moniak, the Maniac. 5-4. That's another ballpark single. 1-11. And Moniak gets a base hit. First and second now with 2 outs for the catcher, Jacob Stallings. And that's not really Moniak's nickname. It's just a name I came up with just to be silly and just kind of stuck. So now I always call him Moniak the Maniac. Here's Stallings in the clutch. And in the clutch, Stallings will gain a hit 1-7. Oh, that one hung up on the edge, so we'll redo that one. There we go, 5-11. Fly ball right field X. We're looking at Yastrzemski. He's a 2. 2-15 will get to that E2. The only errors on E2 for a right fielder are 3, 16, and 18. And he will easily make that catch to retire the side. So a couple of hits, but nothing come of it. We go to the bottom of the second. Still no score from Oracle Park. Good evening, Paul. How are you? Hope you're doing well. Here's Wilmer Flores. 2-5, and that's a fly ball to center field. And that'll bring up Lamont Wade, Jr., if you will. 3-3, and that's a ground ball to short, 2 down. For Luis Matos. Hello, Utah Mike. Matos, 5-10, and that's a ground ball shortstop X. And again, Trejo, 3, E17. 3 and 8 is good. E17, 15, 16, and 17. And he avoids it, and he makes the play to end the inning. We go to the third. Still no score from Oracle Park. Webb out, and he'll be facing Trejo, the old dreaded nameless player, right-handed hitter. 6-7, and that's a ground ball second base X. That is Koss. He's a 2E13. 2 and a 4. Since he wasn't holding anybody on, he will get to that. And then the E13, again, he's got to go avoid 3, 14, and 18, which he does. So good play for Koss. One away for the top of the order, and Brenton Doyle. 3-4, and that is a walk. First base on balls issued by Mr. Webb. And now Doyle could think about running, but that -4 is a definite deterrent. It'd still be a 1-13, though. So you know what? They're going to try for the lead anyway. You're not going to be deterred. When you're playing the Rockies, you got to be aggressive and try to manufacture some runs. So he needs a 4 or a 6. He gets the 6. He's going to go. 19 being held as a 17. -4 is a 13. Still a 65% chance. 1-13. And he got caught stealing. And that's the price you pay sometimes. Trying to be aggressive. So 2 down, bases empty for Jordan Beck. Beck, 5-10, struck him out, and that's going to end the inning. Third strikeout for Webb. And there's nothing doing for the Rockies. We go to the bottom of the third. And it will be Patrick Bailey, the catcher, leading off, followed by Koss and Yastrzemski. 6-7, and that's a walk, leadoff walk. First walk issued by Marquez. Bailey, no threat to run. Christian Koss. 3-6 for Koss, and that is a double 1-3, single 4-20. That's a single, so runners are on the corners and nobody out. And the dam is about to break, it seems like. Here's Yastrzemski. That's a 2, balk or pass ball chance. Balk chance is a 0 on Marquez, so he cannot balk. Infield playing back for the double play. They need outs. 4-6, and that's going to be a pop-up to first base. So that'll keep everybody where they are. 1 away for Willie Adames. Infield still looking for that double play, which would get them out of the inning, especially a Giovanni's double play. That would be icing on the cake. 1-9 for Adames, and that's another strikeout. for him. He has struck out twice. Marquez has struck out 2 batters, and he's gotten Adames twice. And now the dangerous Jung-Hoo Lee is up in a clutch situation. He doubled his first time up. In the clutch, he will lose hits 2-8 and 2-12. Oh, that got hung up there. Let's try that again. 3-7 for Lee, and he grounds to second. So Marquez pitches around, runners on the corners, and nobody out, and gets out of the mess. So the only good thing that's helping the Rockies now is the Giants are just as bad as they are. So they're not playing exactly a powerhouse here. So they're kind of on even footing, so to speak. So we go to the top of the 4th. And Ryan McMahon, the batter. 2-5, and that's a strikeout. Strikeout number 4 for Mr. Webb. Hunter Goodman. 6-9, and that's a strikeout. Strikeout number 5. Remember, they average about 10 strikeouts a game to the Rockies, so they're right on par with that. Here's Tolia. 6-7, and that's a ground ball second base X. Again, Koss is a 2. Oh, a 2 and a 1. That's a base hit for Tolia. Checking for an error on the E14. He has to avoid on the E14. He's got to avoid 3, 15, 6. I'm sorry, 3, 14, 15. I'm sorry, 3, 15, 16, and 18. Those are the numbers. And he avoids those. So no error, but Tolia will reach on 2-out single. And that'll bring up Farmer. That is a 3-3 for Farmer, and he's hit by the pitch. So he gets plunked. And they'll send up Moniak the Maniac in a clutch situation. In the clutch for Moniak, he gains a hit 2-3. It's a 1-8, and he will ground it to second to end the inning. So we go to the bottom of the 4th, still no score from Oracle Park. And Matt Chapman will lead off for the Giants, followed by Wilmer Flores and Wade. 1-10, and that's going to be a strikeout. Strikeout number 3 for Marquez. Brings up Wilmer Flores. And Wilmer, let's see here, 4-4, catcher X. That is Stallings. He's a 3. 3 and a 7. 3 and a 7 for a catcher. 3 and a 7 is a P/P. Nobody's on base, so it's just a pop-up. Unless we roll a 17 for an error. And we do not. So it's a pop-up to Stallings. Out number 2. I think I can get a little closer. I'm going to take this down 1 notch. Might look better. Get less glare. All right, here is Lamont Wade. That is a 6-10 for Marquez, and that's a fly to left to end the inning. And the inning's over. We played 4, still no score from San Francisco. And Chuck, the Rockies' next game is a 3-game homestand against the Detroit Tigers. So I don't know if Skubal is going to be pitching in that series or not. I'll have to look it up and see what the pitching rotations were, because I don't know off the top of my head. Obviously, I haven't researched it or set any lineups that far in advance or anything of that nature. But as I look at the schedule, let's see here. They have game 1, Jobe, Jobe. I guess it's pronounced Jobe. Jackson Jobe, Jobe is the first starter. Then they have a doubleheader the next day. Game 1 is Casey Mize. Game 2 is somebody named Montero, Kiter Montero. Never heard of him. So they do miss Skubal. They did not have to face Skubal in the Detroit series. All right, here's Logan Webb. He will be facing Jacob Stallings to start things off. 1-7, and that is a fly to center field. 1 away for the nameless player Alan Trejo. 6-9, and that's a strikeout for Webb. That's number 6 for Brenton Doyle. 5-7, and that is a ground ball to short to end the inning. And that'll bring up the Giants, bottom of the order, Matos, Bailey, and Koss against Marquez. This is the fatigue inning for Marquez, so we'll keep an eye on him. 1-7, and that is a fly to left, one away. Patrick Bailey. 1-7 for Bailey, and he strikes out. Strikeout number 4 for Marquez. So I don't know if it's Marquez good pitching or whether it's inept offense on the Giants' part. Koss, 6-9, and that's a 1-15 home run. As soon as I say that, it looks like the Giants would get on the board. 1-15 is a home run. 16-20 is a triple. And that's gone. Christian Koss. He had 3 home runs and 174 at-bats, but they do rate him as normal power against righties, weak against lefties. And Christian Koss puts the Giants on the board with a solo home run. It is 1-0 here in the bottom of the 5th. And now Mike Yastrzemski, the batter. 3-10 for Yastrzemski, and he's going to draw a base on balls. That is walk number 2 issued by Marquez. And now Yastrzemski is going to try to get a lead. Needs a 4 or a 5 to get the lead. And he does not get it. He will hold for Willie Adames. 5-11. That's a ballpark single check. It's 1-11. And that's a base hit. So it's going to continue the inning for Jung-Hoo Lee again in the clutch. 6-5, and that's a fly to center to end the inning. So the home run is all they get. Marquez is on the verge of being fatigued, though, so the bullpen is going to be loosening for Colorado pretty quickly. Logan Webb. This will be his fatigue inning, number 6. And that's a 4-8. That's a base on balls for Logan Webb. And that's the first walk issued by Webb. He hit a batter, but that's the first walk. Beck is going to try to get a lead. Needs a 2 through 6 or an 11. Does not get it. He will hold. And here's Ryan McMahon. 1-7 for McMahon. He walks. So back-to-back walks to start the 6th inning for Webb. And this is his first time being in serious trouble. One more base runner, and he reaches fatigue. Here's Goodman, 1-7. Ground ball, shortstop A. We got a Giovanni's Tailor Shop, tailor-made double play. Talk about helping Logan Webb out right there. 1-7. Hunter Goodman, 1-7 against the right-hander is a ground ball, shortstop A. The plus is irrelevant. They were not in. The whole infield was not in, so the plus is irrelevant. It's a 6-4-3 double play. Tailor-made double play, sponsored by Giovanni's Tailor Shop in Lemoyne, Pennsylvania. If you're in the area and have tailoring needs, be sure to stop by and see them. Tell them Demo sent you. They'll give you a discount. They are the unofficial sponsor of the channel, but the official sponsor of the Giovanni's Tailor Shop, tailor-made double play of the game. And now Michael Tolia is in a clutch situation. The runner on third and 2 outs, and he is completely neutral in the clutch. He's 2 for 2, though, against Webb. That's a 4-9. Make him 3 for 3. Tolia gets the base hit to tie the score. Webb is now tired. They're going to try to get him to finish the inning. Here's Farmer, but if he hits a dot, he's got to come out. That's a 6-3. It's a ground ball to third, and that'll do it, and that'll do it for Webb. So Webb can win it, but he can't lose it. 1-1. Webb goes 6 innings. He's going to give up 1, 2, 3, 4 hits, 1 run, 3 walks, and 6 strikeouts. And we'll figure out who's going to pitch for the Giants in the 7th. Right now, Marquez is out, but he's on shaky ground, short leash. Rockies bullpen. They have the bird is a word, Jake Bird, loosening in the bullpen. Jake Bird. Marquez to Chapman. 6-7, and that's a pop out to short. There's a dot there, but he's not tired yet. 1 away. And that'll send up Flores. 3-5 for Flores. That's a walk. 1 more base runner, and he will be fatigued. Brings up Lamont Wade Jr. This is probably the last guy that Marquez is going to face. 5-5, and that's a fly to center. 2 down. Actually, I think they're going to try to get him through the inning. Going to try to get him through 6. 2-5 for Matos, and that's trouble. 1-19 is a double. A 20 is a single. That's a double, 2 stars. It'll put runners on 2nd and 3rd with 2 outs and Patrick Bailey, the batter. And now they're going to lift Marquez. That's it. Marquez has reached fatigue. He is out of there. And they will go to Jake Bird. So Bird is a -4 on its hold. Can't do the numbers yet on Marquez. We do know he went 5 2/3. I'll do the rest at the end of the inning. Right now, Patrick Bailey taking on Bird. 2nd and 3rd, 2 outs. Bailey in the clutch will gain a hit, 2-6 and 3-7. And it's a 4-7, and that's a strikeout for Bird to end the inning. So a no decision for both Marquez and Webb. They both take no decisions in this game. So we'll do the numbers on Marquez. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hits I have him for. 1 run, which was the home run. He walked 3, and he struck out 4. Now the Giants will need a new pitcher to replace Logan Webb, and it will be the left-hander Eric Miller. It is Miller time here in San Francisco. Eric Miller, 4-1, 150 ERA, no saves, left-hander. And he'll be facing Moniak, the lefty, then Stallings and Trejo, 2 righties. But he's in there specifically because Moniak does not hit lefties very well. That's right, Dr. D. That's correct, yes. So here is Moniak against Miller, lefty, 4-8. That's a walk. That's not what San Francisco had in mind when they brought in Miller. And Miller is a -2 hold, so that makes him a -5. So they're not going to risk running against that. They will have Stallings swing away. And nobody can bunt in this league anymore, so to sacrifice bunt is pretty much out of the question. Let's see, 5-6, and that's another walk. So Miller has walked the first 2 he has faced. And that'll bring up Trejo. That's a 1-9 against the lefty, and that's a pop-up to short. 1 away for Brenton Doyle. And let's see if they want to stick with Miller. I think they will. He's faced his minimum 3 batters, but I think they're going to stick with him. Here's Doyle. 6-11. It's a fly ball right field X. Yastrzemski, 2-2. 2 and a 3. That's problematic. That's most likely going to be a hit. A 2 and a 3 is a single 2 stars. So that will score Moniak. Move Stallings to 3rd on the single, and now we'll make sure there's no error. He has to avoid 3, 16, and 18, and that's a 17. So he somehow managed to get around that too without an error. So Brenton Doyle is on, and runners at the corners with 1 out. They will hold Doyle on, but he will not try to steal. And Jordan Beck, the batter. And now they're going to go to the bullpen, will leave. No, they're going to leave him in there because McMahon, the lefty, is next. So they're going to leave him in there to face Beck. 4-4. And that's a catcher X. Bailey is a 1. 1 and a 14 for a catcher. Oops, wrong chart. 1 and a 14 for a catcher is a straight old foul out. E3, the only errors are 3, 16, and 18. And that's not a problem. So it's a straight old foul out for out number 2. And now lefty against Ryan McMahon in the clutch situation. McMahon loses a hit 1-4 and 3-6 against the left-handed pitcher. 6-9, and it's a ground ball shortstop X. We're looking at Adames, 2E17, but he's actually a 3E17 because he was holding Doyle on. So he's a 3E17. 3 and 19 is irrelevant, so it doesn't matter about the range. Now he's got to avoid 15, 16, and 17, which he does, and that's going to end the inning. But the Rockies take a 2-1 lead. RBI single from Brenton Doyle. That'll be it for Miller. He's going to go 1 inning. The 2 walks is what got him into trouble. 1 hit and the 1 run. Bird back out. He's only faced 1 batter, so he's going to continue on, obviously. Facing Christian Koss. 7th inning stretch time is 2-1 Rockies. Oh, that didn't fit through. And if anybody wants 7th inning stretch entertainment, I'd be glad to corner around some cards for you while I play, if you like. Here's Christian Koss, 5'11", and that is a fly ball right field X. And we are looking at Moniak. He's a 3E11, 3 and a 6. That's going to get down for a hit. 3 and a 6 is a SI2, I believe, and it is. So that's a single for Koss. E11 on Moniak. He's got to avoid 3, 4, 13, 15, 16, and 18. A lot of numbers there. The 5 there is a rare play. I don't think there's going to be much to the rare play there, but SI2 and a rare play. Well, we're going to go with it because it says it's a legitimate rare play. SI2, rare play, because we did roll a 5. And it says, as the batter rounds first, the fielder throws behind him and catches him out for an out. So since it went to right field, it's legitimate. You can do that. If it had been a left fielder, I would have thrown it out. But it's going to be a 9-3. So he's out 9-3 after the hit. So there's 1 away. Well, believe me, I have. I will show you. I was going to do something, but then I decided against it because I didn't think it would go well. But I already made the thumbnail, and the thought was there. But I was going to do this. Get the glare off of here. I was going to do this. The joys of stratting with happy little X charts and phthalo green error charts. I was going to do that, but decided not to. But I did enough of a thought of it to make a thumbnail, so you know it was at least on my mind. But so anyway, I thought about doing that, but not sure how well that would go over. But whatever. Here is Yastrzemski. But with this thing here versus the old dice tray, we could get away with it, I think. All right, here is Yastrzemski. And that's a 3-11 for Yaz, and he grounds to first base C. It's a 3-1 put out, 2 down for Willie Adames. 2-8 for Adamas, and that is a strikeout. Hey, if I get the lavalier mic working well, maybe I can, because they use these things for ASMR, maybe I can do something like that. I'd have to have it really up close to my mouth so I could whisper and whatever. So, and do my best Bob Ross impersonation. That's going to be it for Bird, by the way. He goes an inning and a third, and he's going to give up a hit, nothing else, with 2 strikeouts. So we go to the 8th inning, and the Giants will need a new pitcher, and they will go to Randy Rodriguez, so right-hander. Rodriguez, 3-5, 178 ERA, and 4 saves for Randy Rodriguez. He'll be facing Goodman, Tolia, and Farmer. So right, switch, and right. So Rodriguez is on. Try to keep the score where it is. He's a +7 hold, though, so that's not going to help. The -3 for Bailey will make him a +4. So Goodman going to lead things off for the Rockies. That's a 5-2. That's a ballpark blast, but it's only a 1-4 for Hunter Goodman. And that's a 5. He just got up under it. 1 away. Michael Tolia. 1-6 for Tolia, and that's a strikeout. Out number 2. And here's Farmer, 1-9, and that's a ground ball to third to end the inning. So 3 up, 3 down for Randy Rodriguez. He pitches his 1 inning and gets it done. Remember, most of these guys are 1 inning relievers. That's what they're used for. So we go to the bottom of the 8th, 2-1 ball game, and the Rockies will need a new pitcher. Halverson is their closer. They will go to who's coming up for the Lee? So there's 1 lefty and then 2 righties. Who do we go to? Who do I trust is the question. We'll go to Tyler Kinley. See if he can pitch. Or did he pitch the previous? Let me make sure he didn't pitch the previous game. Let's see. No, he did not. Agnos, Alexander, and Mejia pitched the last game. So Kinley has good rest, as did Bird. So Tyler Kinley is rested. Kinley, before he went in, combined with Atlanta and Colorado, was 6-3, 3.96 ERA, and 3 saves. Tyler Kinley. And he is a +6 on his hold, so that's a +5. He's going to face Jung-Ho Lee. Or Jung-Hoo Lee, I guess you would say. Jung-Hoo Lee. That is a 4-7, and that's a walk, not what Colorado was looking for. Lee will look to get a good lead, particularly with that +5 standing out like a sore thumb. He needs a 7 to get the good lead. And he just missed it. Too much. There's no way he can do it without the good lead. So here is Chapman. It's a 4-10, and that's a ballpark single check. Again, 1-11. That's a 16, so he will fly to left field for out number 1. And here is Wilmer Flores. 2-7 for Flores. That's a ground ball shortstop A. We have another Giovanni's Taylor shot. Taylor-made double play. And this one came at a great time for the Rockies. Look at it again. 2-7 against the right-hander. You got a ground ball shortstop A. Ground ball shortstop A to end the inning. And Kenley does his job. He goes 1 inning. He did give up a walk, but nothing else. They'll bring in Halverson to try to close it in the 9th. He is their closer, Seth Halverson. That's who they'll bring in the 9th. Seth Halverson had 11 saves in the 25 season. Right now, Colorado needs a new pitcher. And let's see who they're going to bring in. Coming up for the Rockies, you got lefty, righty, righty. Looks like they will go to... Let me see who pitched in the last game. Make sure I don't use the same guy twice. Nope, they used Birdsong and Doval. So Tyler Rogers will come in and pitch for the Giants. Tyler Rogers. Rogers, 4-6, 198 ERA. He's a +1, makes him a -2 on the hold. So Rogers will face Moniak, Stallings, and Trejo here in the top of the 9th. And Moniak the Maniac, 6'10", and that is a fly ball center field X. We're looking at Jung-Hoo Lee, 2 and a 6. I think he gets to that. 2 and a 6. I know 3 and a 6 is a hit, but I think 2 and a 6. Yep, he gets to that. He's an E3, so the only errors are 3, 16, and 18. And he barely avoids that. So Lee makes the play. 1 down for Jacob Stallings. And that is 5-10. Ground ball third base X. That's going to be Chapman. He's a 1. We know he's going to get to it. E17 as a third baseman. Whoops, wrong chart. E17, third baseman, has to avoid 12, 15, 16, and 17. He does 5, but it doesn't matter about a rare play. Nobody's on base, so there's nothing rare about it when the bases are empty. 2 down for Trejo, the nameless player. 6-4, and that's a ground ball to short. That'll do it. Tyler Rogers pitches a scoreless 9th. And we go to the bottom of the 9th here at Oracle Park. Rockies lead it 2-1, and it's up to Seth Halverson. Seth Halverson to come in and close it. Halverson, 1-2 with a 4.99 ERA and 11 saves. And scheduled hitters are Wade, Matos, and Bailey. Halverson's a -2, makes him a -3. Check the Giant bench. I don't know they got a whole lot on the bench they want to go to. They've got Elliot Ramos, Sam Huff, and Brett Wisely. Ramos is a right-hander. I think they're going to stick with the left-hander Wade Jr. So Lamont Wade Jr. is going to stay in and hit. He is 0 for 3, but he's a lefty. 1-5, and he's going to draw a walk. Rockies can't seem to do anything without walking somebody. Now, do we get a pinch runner? That we would definitely get a pinch runner if they had a decent runner on the bench. And they do, Brett Wisely. Brett Wisely is going to come in and pinch run for Mr. Wade. So Wisely pinch running here in the 9th for Wade. Not really to steal a base, but he runs better as a 13. That's his best option because he can get caught stealing on a 9 or 10. So you're not going to gamble there. But he's there just to try to score on base hits easier. So here's Matos against Halverson. That is a 2-6 for Matos, and he lines it to short. 1 away as that's hauled in by Trejo. Brings up the dangerous Patrick Bailey. He is 0 for 2 with a walk, but he had a big home run in the other game. I think it was the first game, maybe the second game, not sure which one. But he's dangerous. Switch hitter. That is a 3-7, and that's a fly to center. It would have been a clutch hit with 2 outs, but there were not 2 outs. There's only 1 out, so the fly to that Omega does not come into play. 2 away, and now Christian Koss, who's already homered in the game, he's 3 for 3, so we're not going to pinch hit for somebody that's 3 for 3, that's for sure. That's a 1. Wild pitch rating's a 16. And how about that? It's a wild pitch. That makes this a clutch at bat now for Christian Koss. We'll look at his numbers in the clutch. He actually will gain an extra hit on a 2-7. So that wild pitch brings the 2-7 into play. Rockies can't make anything be easy whatsoever. That's a 2. Chance for a balk or pass ball. Chance for a pass ball on Stallings. Stallings' pass ball rating is a 2. No pass ball. So it's up to Christian Koss. That is a 3-6, and Christian Koss is going to tie this ball game. 1-3 is a double, 4-20 is a single. And that is a single 2 stars. The wild pitch comes into play, and we got a tie game, and that's a blown save for Halverson. And that'll bring up Yastrzemski. That is a 2-7, and he's going to get a single. There's an anti-clutch, but the runner is not in scoring position. He's only at first base, so that single is going to stand. Put runners on the corners with 2 outs for Willy Adames in a clutch situation. Willy Adames in the clutch. He gains a hit on 2-3. And, man, Halverson thought he had it made here, but all of a sudden that wild pitch has kind of gotten things out of the way here. Here's Adames. That is a 1-7, and that's a walk. It's going to load the bases, and that's going to be it for Halverson. They're going to pull Halverson, and they are going to go to the left-handed reliever to face Jung-Hoo Lee. They are going with Scott Alexander, the lefty, to face Jung-Hoo Lee and try to get out of the inning. Halverson couldn't get it done. Halverson can only go 2/3 of an inning. Gave up 2 hits and 2 walks. 1 run, and he's responsible for the winning run. Did not strike anyone out. Alexander is a -4 on his hold. Comes in with the bases loaded. Very tough position to put him in. But they wanted to go with the lefty-lefty matchup and see what they can do with it. Jung-Hoo Lee in the clutch against lefties will lose 2 hits, 2-3, and 2-6. That's a 6-9, and that's a ground ball shortstop X. We're going to Trejo, 3E17. 3-15 is good. 17, he's got to avoid 15, 16, and 17. And he does, and we have extra innings. We will go to extra innings here in San Francisco. That's going to be it for Alexander. He got his 1 out. That was his job. And now the Giants need a new first baseman for Wade. Flores can play first, but he was also the DH, and you would lose your DH in that situation. Do they have anybody else that can play first base? They do not. I think the only first baseman they have on the roster is Wilmer Flores. So they're going to move Wilmer Flores to first base. They're going to lose the DH. So this will be now the pitcher spot right here. The pitcher is going to be right here. So they will need a pinch hitter in the bottom of the 10th for the pitcher, as it turns out. But they need a pitcher of their own here in the 10th inning. And they're going to go to their 1-inning guy, Camilo Doval. He's there just to pitch the 10th inning. That's it. The quote-unquote ghost runner is Trejo. So Trejo is sitting here at second base as the ghost runner. And Brenton Doyle is your leadoff man. Jung-Hoo Lee will be the ghost runner in the bottom of the 10th. Right now, Brenton Doyle. Let's move this over. Maybe I can still get closer. Let's bring it over like that. There we go. All right, so the ghost runner is at second base in the form of Alan Trejo. Brenton Doyle, your batter, against Doval. 5-3 is a fly ball left field X. Left fielder is Matos. He's a 4. 4 and a 7, that's going to, I believe, drop for a hit. Pretty sure it will. As soon as I get the outfield chart up here. 4 and a 7 is a single 2 stars. That'll score the run. Trejo will score. RBI single for Brenton Doyle. Rockies take a 3-2 lead. Doval is a +9 on his hold, makes him +5. So Doyle's going to look to get a lead. Needs a 4 or a 6. Doesn't get it. He'll hold. And here is Jordan Beck. 1-8 for Beck, and that's a home run, 1-5. Double 6-20. And that's a double to center field. And they will hold Doyle at third base with nobody out. Second, third, nobody out. So Duvall having a rough time of it. Infield is in. Ryan McMahon, the batter. And that's a 2-9. And that is a strikeout, a big strikeout there for Doval, I should say. Keep wanting to call him Duval. For Doval. And now Hunter Goodman, they're going to put him on intentionally. They don't want Hunter Goodman really raking on him. So they're going to face Tolia. Although Tolia is 3 for 4, he's not as good of a hitter as Goodman. Plus, this sets up a double play. So they are now playing a double play. Double play situation for Tolia. Doval 3-11, and that is a ballpark single check, which is going to be a 1 to an 11. And that's a base hit. That will score the run, makes it 2 runs in the inning for Colorado. And ironically, had we been playing advanced and not super advanced, that would have been a ground ball double play. But we're using the ballpark effects, and there you go. That is correct, Dr. D. The one who made the last out is the ghost runner. That you are correct. So now Doval, he's on the verge of being tired. And here's Farmer. Base is still loaded with 1 out. Infield looking for the double play. 1-8. And that's a ground ball shortstop A. They finally get the double play. Again, had they been playing in, that would have been a 2-run single. But playing back, you get the ground ball shortstop A for the double play. Another Giovanni's tailor-made double play to end the inning. But the Giants are now find themselves in a hole, down 4-2. They will come out in the bottom of the 10th, and the Rockies will bring on Zach Agnos to try to close the deal. Right-handed pitching Zach Agnos. Agnos was 1-3, 6.61 ERA with 4 saves for Zach Agnos. And the ghost runner is Lee. He made the last out in the 9th, so he is the ghost runner. At second base, Agnos -1 makes him a -4. But his run's irrelevant. It's the other runs because they're up by 2 now. So they don't care about Lee. They're worried about the batters. So here's Chapman. That's a 3-9 for Chapman, and that is a strikeout. So Agnos gets the strikeout, 1 away for Wilmer Flores. And the pitcher spot is on deck, so they will pinch it for the pitcher. Because remember, we lost the DH when Flores went to first. 3-6, and that is a strikeout again. So Agnos has struck out both he has faced. And pinch hitter for the Giants will be coming up, and that's going to be Elliot Ramos. He will pinch hit for the pitcher Doval. If I can find his card. Elliot Ramos. There he is. I think he's right here on top. There he is. Elliot Ramos will pinch hit. So this is going to be Ramos. So Elliot Ramos will get the pinch hitting call. He is the tying run, obviously, with the runner at second. It is a clutch situation. In the clutch for Ramos, he loses a hit 1-9. Agnos struck out the first 2 he faced. Now he's trying to close the deal. Get the Rockies their 14th win. That is a 5-9. And look at this. Are you kidding me? Home run 1-17 on a 5-9. Can't make this stuff up. 1-17 on the 5-9. 1-17. We have a tie ball game again. But it's an 18. Are you kidding me even further? It's an 18. It'll be a double. RBI double, but it keeps the Rockies in the lead 4-3. Scoring is Lee. But now Matos is up. Tyne runs at second, 2 outs again, clutch situation. Matos now the winning run. He will lose hits 2-8 and 2-10 in the clutch. Agnos trying to get that final out. 1-7, and he does. Fly ball to left ends it. So somehow the Rockies eke that out and win the ball game by the score of 4-3. Agnos in the ninth. It's an unearned run, I believe is what they call it when the ghost runner scores. He gave up a hit, 1 run, which was unearned, struck out 2. He gets the save, and Mr. Alexander actually gets the win because he got the last out in the ninth. Doval takes the loss. He went 1 inning, gave up 2 runs, 1 earned on 3 hits and a walk and a strikeout. So if we total things up here for the Rockies, 4 runs on 8 hits. I don't believe either team made an error. I don't see an error either way. For the Giants, 3 runs on 9 hits, no errors. So they split the 4-game series here in San Francisco. Colorado improves to 14-20 on the replay through 34 games. And through 34 games in the real season, let's see what they did. See if we're +7 or +8. See what we were here. So at the end of this one here, they were 6-28. So yeah, we're 8 games up now. We're +8. So we are +8 now with the 14-20 record because they're 6-28 after 34 games real world. We are 14-20. So there you go. Rockies pull it out, and they will have a happy flight home to Colorado, I guess the Denver airport or wherever they fly into, and they will take on the Detroit Tigers. They'll start a 6-game homestand, 3 against the Tigers and 3 against the Padres. And game 1, actually, the way this is done in the scheduling, the 5th and the 6th they did not play. So I'm assuming they had an off day on the 5th, and the 6th must have gotten rained out because on the 8th, they do a double header. So they don't play the 5th and the 6th. Kind of weird. I'm going to go ahead and just play it. I'm going to give all the bullpen guys their rest. So all the bullpen guys will be rested. But I'm not going to skip any days or anything. So May the 7th against Detroit. And that's going to be, again, this guy I've never heard of before for the Tigers, Jackson Jobe. I guess that's his name, Jackson Jobe. He gets the start for the Tigers. And for the Rockies, it'll be Dolander who gets the call. So I will go grab before tomorrow night's game, I'll get the Tigers out of the bin, get their 25-man roster set up per Action PC. So we have the correct roster and whatnot. And there we have it. So Rockies win it 4-3. That's the second extra inning game we've had in this replay with the ghost runner and whatnot. So interesting, I suppose. I'm not really sure the best way to score keep a ghost runner. I usually just put a dot here for whoever the ghost runner is. And then if he scores, I'll fill it in. If he's out, he doesn't. So I don't know any other way to do it. Wasn't taught that when I was scorekeeping. When I was learning to keep score back in the day, they didn't have all this. So, is he really the son of a Brant Jobe? It's interesting. All right, so the Rockies 14-20. Tomorrow afternoon at 12 o'clock should be the NBC game of the week. Inside pitch, 1979. Cincinnati Reds taking on the Atlanta Braves from Hotlanta. And on Sunday afternoon, I've already recorded the Strat-O-Matic Sunday Basic game, and that was between the Los Angeles Dodgers and the San Francisco Giants, 1962. And that's already been recorded and ready to be presented on Sunday afternoon. So that's going to do it from here. I'm not sure if I'm going to do the noon between 12 and 12:15 Eastern, Paul. Tomorrow is the NBC game of the week. Between 12 and 12:15 Eastern. Not sure when I'm going to do the golf. I'm going to do it tomorrow, or I might do it Sunday. I haven't decided yet. The final round of the Charles Schwab Classic. Probably will do it tomorrow afternoon, but it could be Sunday. I really don't know. So that's going to do it from here from Oracle Park. We leave San Francisco. We head back to Coors Field in Colorado to start a 6-game homestand, 3 with Detroit and 3 with San Diego. So that's going to do it from here. Hope you all have a great weekend. I hope your weekend's off to a great start. And until next time, enjoy playing whatever game you choose to play, however you choose to play it, and we'll see you all down the road.